coming in ready.
Coming in hot.
Bone. Race.
Bone race?
That's right.
Alright.
You heard me.
Uh-huh.
I said bone race. Oh my gosh. Remember this chapter?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Oh my gosh, everyone.
You guys.
You guys.
Hi.
Everyone.
I'm Emily.
This is Marin right here.
This is Marin. Nope. I'm Emily. Emily over here.
And this is, you're listening to
Remember Twilight.
Oh gosh, do you guys remember Twilight?
Do you remember chapter 20 of New Moon?
Do you remember who comes back?
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Welcome back, Edward Cullen.
Oh, I missed you.
So happy to see you.
What a sweetie angel.
Oh my gosh. Emily did her line reading, and it was the moment where we look at Edward and we see him there, and he's glimmering in all of his shining, shimmering splendor. And I got a flutter of a heart.
It's a good time.
I got a weak arms. I don't know if that's a thing, but it was a thing. Oh my gosh, I was so excited.
Yep, so we're in Volterra.
Oh my gosh, what happened last week?
Last week we were on a plane.
Oh no, the whole time.
The whole time.
We sat on a plane. It was really,
no.
I was bouncing in my seat.
I don't like airplanes very much anymore.
I love flying.
I used to be fine with the flight, and now I am not fine with the flight. Well, remember that time when I had to sit on an airplane for hours and then stay in an airport for
oh my gosh,
like
that's
32
right.
hours?
That still wouldn't deter me.
Got a little PTSD, I think.
I like flying. I've always loved flying. It's a big plus for me. I love to fly.
That's lucky.
But yeah, because I can sleep on an airplane. Most people can't.
I can sleep a smidge.
Oh man. So they sat on the airplane, they stole a car, they are driving.
Yep. And as they're driving, the road grew congested.
Oh no! This is the time for Alice to just Spider-Man them up the hill, right?
Yes.
Because I think she'd be able to. I think she could pull over, stick Bella on her lap, and just scramble.
She could.
So fast.
She just needs to cover. I mean, she has her gloves.
It's
just her
go
face.
Around.
That's true.
Right?
That's what she does after she drops Bella off.
She just scurries around and meets him in the alley. But I think she could do this originally. She could just stick Bella, she could backpack Bella, and just kind of go around and be like, there you go.
Boop.
I don't know. It's weird.
The cars become too close for Alice to weave insanely between them, and so they have to sit in traffic.
No.
The sun is a shining beam down on the city, and
Bella is just consistently, Alice.
Yeah. She becomes Tina.
Alice. So funny.
And people are now parking and getting out of their cars to walk into the city.
Okay, do you feel like the city planner needs a new plan?
I mean, one way in,
Marcus.
one way out.
It's Marcus. Okay, he knew he was doing.
Trap them? Yes. Great idea.
Gross.
The parking filled the lot outside the city. No one was being allowed to drive through.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Alice.
And Alice is like, I know. Stop it.
Now that I was looking and we were crawling slowly enough to see, I could tell that it was very windy.
Uh-oh.
Good thing she washed her hair.
Finally.
Am I right? It's going to be a strawberry palooza in there. I don't know why I cannot let the strawberry shampoo go.
I guarantee.
But it's because Edward had such a reaction in Twilight, looking like he was going to vomit.
Him covering his nose. It's not our fault that he hates strawberry shampoo.
It's not.
And Bella is like, I smell like strawberries. I don't know what the deal is. That's it. This not very much time has passed.
No, it's
She's
been a
still
year.
using that shampoo.
Yeah, it's the Costco size. She's only like 3/4 of the way through.
She loves that shampoo. It makes her hair so shiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Stick with it. Yep. Never change.
Bella also does a notice of the fact that everyone is wearing red. Very Twilight.
So creepy.
Red shirts, red hats, red flags, and once she gets in the city, red capes.
Oh, ooh. So cool. I want a red cape so bad.
We should get them.
Honestly.
Just saying.
We should wear them to Forks.
We should wear them to Forks. Bella, I can't see what the guard here will decide now. If this doesn't work, you're going to have to go in alone. You're just going to have to run, okay?
So scary.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
She's like, okay, just go in and go to Palazzo da Priory. Palazzo da Priory. And Bella's just like, okay, Palazzo da Priory. Palazzo da Priory.
Or the clock tower.
The clock
that's
tower.
What I'm saying.
And so then I'm like, okay, maybe it's a small, hidden clock tower. Clock towers, there's a reason that they're a clock tower. They're, like, you'll see it.
So everyone can see it no matter where they are.
The clock tower is the biggest building in the town. You don't have to ask somebody where it is.
This is Bella, though.
Good point.
She might accidentally go into a gift shop. We don't know. Alice is going to try to find a way around a wall somewhere where people aren't looking.
Alice, though, she's like, Edward will be under the clock tower to the north of the square. There's a narrow alleyway on the right, and he'll be in the shadow there. You just have to get his attention before he can move in the sun. But it's like, yeah, just try. Just try to get Edward to not be dramatic.
Uh-huh.
Try.
Really hard.
See if you can do it.
His shirt's already on the ground.
I've never been able to do it.
Alice was near the front of the line, and a man in a navy blue uniform was directing the flow of traffic. Alice pulls up. The uniformed man says to park over here, and Alice just zoops around him.
Porsche drivers.
Yep. Zoop.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm. All the way up to the man at the gate. He comes right into the middle of the street, and so Alice does a beep of the car to the side so that she wasn't in the sunshine.
And she reaches into her bag.
Uh-huh.
Is she gonna kill someone?
She has a gun.
That's what it's. I'm American, so that's all I can think of.
Yeah. Just kidding. She doesn't have a gun.
No.
But the guard comes around, does a tap on the window. She rolls it down a little bit and gives him a dazzle.
Such a dazzle. He's immediately, I'm sorry.
Only tour buses today. And she goes, it's a private tour. Puts her hand out the window, and Bella's like, your hand has skin on it, Alice, but it's okay. She has a beautiful silk glove.
She's freaking Cinderella now. She's wearing a full-length tan glove.
Yep. And gives him $1 million.
I know! It's a, how does she describe it?
A thick roll of money.
A thick roll of money. A thick roll of money, I'm assuming, would have to be like hand circle sized.
Yep.
The outside bill was $1,000 bill.
Only the Cullens.
But nobody uses $1,000 bill. I read this and I was like, except the Cullens.
Except the Cullens.
They use $1,000 bills.
Do you have change for 1,000? Okay, never mind. You can keep the change.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to have to swipe this to see if it's counterfeit or not. Gosh.
He goes, is this a joke? Only if you think it's funny.
Think it's funny. Using her feminine wiles.
Uh-huh. I'm in a wee bit of a hurry. He just looks at her, blinks, and steps back.
Yes.
So Alice brooms through the gate into the city. But it's super crowded in here too, so there's just a screech stop.
Okay.
Screech stop.
So she drove in quick spurts and sudden stops, like Emily just said. And the people in the crowd shook their fists and said angry words that I was glad I couldn't understand. So
Avada Kedavra.
Maybe. But my first thought was like, hey, I'm walking here, right? But in Italian, so I looked it up. And I looked up the pronunciation, and I think I've got it.
Okay.
E sto camminando qui.
Good.
Thank you. Anyway, really, really, really happy about that.
Yeah, so they're scraping through cities, going down alleyways. Finally, Alice stops the car, and she just points.
And Bella somersaults out.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Well, she might do like a front flip.
I had the door open before we were at a standstill.
She just a roll out.
Well, the car's still going.
She says, we're at the southern end of the square. Just run straight across to the right of the clock tower. I'll find a way around.
Yeah, there she goes.
Then she gets a little breeze in the car and a sniffy whiff, and they're everywhere, she says.
So she's talking about the vampires being everywhere.
There's lots of vampires here today in their red cloaks.
Creepy grapes.
Hanging out.
Schmeepy schmeeps.
They're on alert for dazzled Edward Cullen.
Yeah, they know he's going to do something stupid.
Yep.
And they all want to see it.
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh my gosh, I've heard of this guy.
Get the camcorders. When Alice says this, Bella freezes, and then Alice just punches her out of the car. She says, you have 2 minutes. Go, Bella, go.
Oh, man.
I didn't pause to watch Alice melt into the shadows. I didn't stop to close my door behind me. I shoved a heavy woman out of my way.
Oh my gosh, Bella, stop it.
And ran flat out, head down, paying little attention to anything but the uneven stones beneath my feet. Bella.
Bella.
Everyone's going to be heavy to you because you're so little.
Don't call anybody a heavy woman,
no.
Okay? It's just rude and obnoxious.
Coming out of the dark lane, I was blinded by the brilliant sunlight. The wind whooshed into me, flinging my hair.
Oh, I sincerely hope she's not wearing lip gloss.
Oh,
ugh.
Just as stuck.
Just hair on your lips the whole run. No.
I don't think Bella's ever owned a lip gloss.
She doesn't even do a Carmex.
She might, I don't know.
A little bit on the pinky.
She
Vaseline,
might,
maybe.
yeah. Those little tiny Vaseline guys.
The tiny Vaseline. Oh, they're so cute.
They're just a little tiny.
Oh my gosh.
And everyone's mad about Bella, and they just shove her back.
They hate her.
She tries to shove through, they're like, no.
Who do you think you are?
The throng jostled around me, spinning me the wrong direction.
She's in a mosh pit.
I was glad the clock was so visible, or I'd never keep my course straight.
Oh, man.
But both hands on the clock pointed up towards the pitiless sun, and, though I shoved viciously against the crowd, I knew I was too late.
Oh, no.
I wasn't going to make it. I hoped Alice would get out so she could go home to Jasper.
No. Bella.
But there was a break in the crowd. So she pushes towards it.
Good, no problem. That's normal.
And
everybody's just not standing right there. Oh, crap!
Runs into it, smashes her legs into the side of the fountain.
This is where my pre-planned sports joke comes in.
Yeah, give me just 1 sec. Okay. So she jumps into it and runs through all of the deep water. Luckily, it takes her almost the entire way across the square.
Oh my gosh.
And when she hits the far edge, she uses the low wall as a springboard and backflips into the crowd.
All the gymnastics training is paying off. And I mean, I never wanted to do a sports podcast. We haven't ever done a sports podcast. This is not a sports podcast, except for the one time we talked about baseball.
Uh-huh.
And the 2 times I talked about how I love the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
But now it's a sports podcast.
Bella is the parkour champion. So welcome to our parkour podcast.
I mean, imagine Bella. Bella, who has never been able to walk from class to class without falling once, ever, is suddenly using the side of the what is it called?
The fountain.
The fountain as a springboard
to leap
into the crowd to the other side to get to her eddy. I can't stand it.
I'm surprised they didn't just start crowd surfing her. Right over.
Yeah, this girl needs to be somewhere. I mean, what is this? I used the low wall as a springboard, throwing myself into the crowd. I can't get over it. It's so good.
Now there's this crazy American wet girl running around, so people are making room for her.
They are avoiding her.
I do not want to get wet.
Oh my gosh.
And suddenly, a deep, booming chime echoed through the square.
Children are crying.
Uh-huh.
Bella just starts screaming. I mean, the drama is at fever pitch right now.
Right? Edward, I screamed, knowing it was useless. The crowd was too loud, and my voice was breathless with exertion.
Oh, gosh.
But I couldn't stop screaming. The clock tolled again. That's the second time.
Second midnight.
She runs past a child. The clock tolled again.
Third midnight.
There's many
3 midnights
blazers. She's looking for the narrow passage to the right. She can't quite see it. The clock tolled again.
Ooh.
Number 4. It was hard to see now. The wind is a whipping and a whapping.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes are burning. She's crying.
Oh.
The clock tolls again a 5th time.
Oh my gosh. And then my family, me and Mark and Ciel and Ari are standing there. Right?
A little family of 4 stood nearest to the alley's mouth.
That's us. The 2 girls wearing crimson dresses with matching ribbons, tying their hair back.
Uh-huh. Her father wasn't tall.
Nope.
Amazing.
But then behind his shoulder, Bella could see something bright in the shadows.
Uh-huh. The clock tolled again.
Oh, no.
6.
The littlest girl covers her ears. Ari's covering her ears.
Uh-huh.
Ciel is hugging my leg and looking in the shadows.
And they're like, hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom,
what's
what is that?
Guy?
That guy is, like, shiny?
He's got, like, this hue.
The clock tolls again.
Number 7.
Oh, my gosh.
And Bella's just running full speed ahead of them going, Edward, 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 Edward.
Mark is like, guys, move. Get out of the way. This girl's weird.
Uh-huh.
Ciel's laughing.
Yep.
She's pointing at Edward.
Uh-huh. Clock tolled again, number 8.
Oh
Edward, no.
Oh, no.
I just literally straight up highlighted this whole page.
It's so good. It's so good. She could see him now.
Yep, and I could see that he could
she
not
could
see
see
me.
him.
He has AirPods in.
She could see her, Edward.
It was really him. No hallucination this
is
time.
Not ghost word.
Edward's standing there, just a few feet back from the mouth, eyes closed, very hungry.
Palms forward.
Uh-huh.
What is he?
He's like...
Jesus?
And yeah, channeling his inner Jesus right now. He's just running through all of him and Bella's greatest hits.
He is. He's thinking about the meadow. He's thinking about Spider Monkey. His shirt, there's a small pile of white fabric at his feet, a sleeveless button-up, no doubt.
No doubt. I'd never seen anything more beautiful.
Oh.
Even as I ran, gasping and screaming, I could appreciate that. Oh, couldn't we all, Bella?
I mean...
And the last 7 months meant nothing, and his words in the forest meant nothing.
Excuse me while I throw up a little bit.
And it did not matter if he did not want me. I would never want anything but him, no matter how long I lived.
Oh, just a couple more seconds, Bella.
Yep, the clock tolls again.
Oh, no.
And he took a large stride toward the light.
You're early, Edward.
That's only 9.
Oh my gosh.
We have 3 more
Edward!
bells.
Wait!
He wasn't listening. He smiled very slightly.
He is. And he thinks it's Ghostla. Okay, this came to me in the middle of the night last night. That he has been doing the same thing for the past several months that she's been doing. He's been doing this thing where he imagines that she's there.
He does something really boring and Bella comes to him.
He sits down to read a novel. And suddenly there she is sitting next to him. And it's Ghostla. And so when he hears her, and he hears her say, "No! Edward, look at me!" He smiles because
he's used to her yelling at him.
is listening. And he's like, oh, Ghostla, I knew you would come to me.
She just always screams my name when I'm...
I knew you would come to me in my last minutes on Earth. And so he goes to take a step out.
Oh my God.
And then she slams
into him. She doesn't remember consistencies of vampires at all.
Oh my gosh, Bella.
Good thing that the Cullens are billionaires, because Bella needs some serious dental work.
Youch. It knocked the breath out of her and snapped. She's got whiplash.
Yes.
Youch.
Bella. His dark eyes opened slowly as the clock tolled again.
Why and how? When you're a vampire, can you open your eyes more slowly than a human can?
I guess.
That was really good. You practiced.
Thank you. Yeah, that was my best one yet.
And he looks down at her and he's surprised. Oh my gosh, Edward. Amazing, he said, his exquisite voice full of wonder, slightly amused. Carlisle was right.
Aww.
I think I was in heaven. Emily also just highlighted this entire page and the next one.
Edward's back.
You guys,
the content is here.
Emily and I haven't been this happy since chapter 2 of Twilight.
That's true. Of New Moon.
That's true. Oh my gosh.
Edward, I tried to gasp, but my voice had no sound. You've got to get back into the shadows. You have to move.
These two are truly meant to be together.
Edward's NBD about anything she's saying.
He just is like, I'm in heaven. You're so beautiful. I missed you, Bella. Ghostla? Is this real? I don't care.
He didn't appear to notice that I was trying to force him back. I could have been pushing against the alley walls for all the progress I was making. The clock tolled, but he didn't react. And I think that's all 12.
Yes, I think that was... Oh my gosh.
That was the final one. It was strange, for I knew we were both in mortal danger. Still, in that instant, I felt well. Whole.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, she's like, I could feel my heart racing in my chest, the blood pulsing hot and fast through my veins again. My lungs filled deep with the sweet scent that came off his skin. It was like there had never been any hole in my chest. I was perfect. Not healed, but as if there had been no wound in the first place. But really, she's just having an adrenaline rush.
It's very
can Google
common.
it. It's the first time she's felt anything since Edward left. It's just an adrenaline rush because she ran to him and now she's like, get. And he's just standing there. And so she's having an adrenaline rush. And she feels good for the first time since September. Poor Bella.
Oh, Bella.
It's very common.
Of course, Edward. I can't believe how quick it was. I didn't feel a thing. They're very good.
Oh, sweet Edward.
With his lips just right up in her hair. Death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty, here murmured.
Oh my gosh.
Edward.
Stop.
Him and Bella were thinking about Romeo and Juliet the whole time.
Of course they were. They are meant to be together. Stop quoting Shakespeare at the hour of your death, please, though. Please.
You smell just exactly the same as always. So maybe this is hell. I don't care. I'll take it.
Good.
I'm not dead. And neither are you.
Please, Edward. We have to move. They can't be far away.
She's a wriggle-raggle in his arms.
He still is not listening to her. He still doesn't know what's happening.
No.
What was that? He asks politely.
We're not dead. Not yet.
We have to get out of here before the Volterra. And then he's like, oh my gosh. But I think that this isn't him finally listening to her. I think this is him hearing the Volterra coming. Because then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit. And he like drags her in to the shadows, puts her behind him. He's protecting her with his body, and there they are. And I think he just finally heard them come, and he was like, oh no, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
No.
His arms spread wide protectively in front of me. My human, do not touch.
Mine!
I peeked under his arm to see two dark shapes detach themselves from the gloom. Greetings, gentlemen.
Edward.
I don't think I'll be requiring your services.
He's so much better than Ghostward.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I would appreciate it very much, however, if you would send my thanks to your masters.
You dork.
And they're like, come with us into the night.
Yes.
And Edward's like, no, I think that's fine. I haven't broken any rules. It's all good. And they're like, well, Edward, we are very close to the sun, you see, and so it's hard to know what you might do.
Oh, man.
They were both concealed within smoky gray cloaks that reached to the ground.
Ugh. Want.
They get grays because they're not that important. It's a dark gray, though, so they're in the middle of the pack.
I'll take it.
Let us seek better cover. I'll be right behind you. Bella, why don't you go back to the square and enjoy the festival? Edward.
Where's she gonna go? She's just gonna, okay, I'll be by the fountain.
I'll be in the fountain drowning myself.
I'll be in the fountain.
Gonna cliff dive off the side of the ledge into the fountain.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's the worst thing ever.
No, bring the girl, the first shadow said. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I could see that he was preparing to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Let it happen.
No.
Bella.
Not here. Ara would simply like to speak with you again if you have decided not to force our hand after all. And Edward's like, yeah, sure, but Bella's not coming with us. Well, that's too bad. They're so polite.
The polite shadow.
Uh-huh.
Literally.
Well, we do have rules to obey. Then I'm afraid I'll be unable to accept Ara's invitation, Dimitri. That's fine. Felix purred. Bella's checking him out. She's like, this dude is tall. He's like Emmett big. Oh boy. Ara will be disappointed, Dimitri sighed. I'm sure he'll survive the letdown, Edward replied.
Edward.
You guys. Felix and Dimitri stole closer toward the mouth of the alley, spreading out slightly so they could come at Edward from two sides. Edward didn't move an inch. He was dooming himself by protecting me.
Oh, of course.
That's the synopsis of the series.
Yes.
Abruptly, Edward's head whipped around. Let's behave ourselves, shall we? A lilting voice suggested. There are ladies present.
Oh, good grief.
Alice is here.
Alice!
She doop-de-doop-de-doops
She
to
danced
Edward's
around.
side.
She's got a leap.
Uh-huh. A little parkour from Alice here. Little run up the wall and land.
Yes.
Dimitri and Felix both straighten up now. Apparently they don't like even numbers.
No.
Oh, crap.
No, one-on-one?
Mm-mm. With the mind reader and the future seer.
Nope.
No
thanks.
No, thank you. Come with us down into the storm drain.
I know. I don't know why that when I read it this time I was like, wait a minute. They're just straight up going into the sewer.
That's how vampires get around in the day, remember?
It is.
Dimitri notices your family still watching everything that's happening in the alleyway.
We are curious. What is going on in there?
Uh-huh.
I'm about to follow them in.
Yep. Where are we going, guys?
Where'd you get that cloak?
Is that in the gift shop?
That's all I care about.
Uh-huh. Everyone's still trying to be polite and reasonable, saying, Edward, please, let's go downstairs. And Edward's like, no, we'll just leave now. And everyone's getting frustrated, and then 6 men in red join the family and watch what they're doing.
What are you going to do to us? Where are we going to go? A private tour?
Perfect.
Come on, babies. Let's go. That's kind kind of mom I am. It's fine.
Underground tour of the city. Here for it.
I'm here. Let's go. Oh my gosh.
Can we take
you
pictures?
believe this? I wish Emily was here. Jeez.
Edward's teeth came together audibly. While he says the word no.
A snap of it. No.
No. Unfortunately, Jane is here.
No.
Enough. The voice was high and it came from behind us. Weren't they against the wall? Apparently not.
I can't.
I peeked under Edward's other arm. He's still both arms out. And Bella's like,
he could stay there
what's
forever.
going on over here?
He could stay
What's
there forever.
going on over there?
Yep.
At first I thought it was a young boy. The newcomer was as tiny as Alice. The body under the cloak was slim and androgynous, but the face was too pretty for a boy. No, Bella.
Stop it.
Incorrect.
Good grief.
But her size was so insignificant that the reaction to her appearance confused me. Felix and Dimitri relaxed immediately. Ooh.
They're fine.
Edward dropped his arms and relaxed his position as well, but in defeat. Jane, he sighed.
Cool.
And then we have little Alice folds her arms. Like, this girl?
Please.
Ugh. Follow me, Jane spoke again, her childish voice monotone. I relate.
Follow me.
Yep. Jane goes first, Alice follows after her, Edward grabs Bella around the waist and tugs her along.
Never gonna give you up.
And Bella just stares at him and he's just like, now's not the time, Bella. Please don't open your mouth.
Oh no.
Well, Alice, Edward said conversationally as we walked, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised to see you here.
Gosh. I wish.
Yes.
See, they have to have this conversation because he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm really, really sorry. This was all me. I'm really, really sorry. But they can't have that conversation, so they have to be like super polite and chill and nothing. It's fine. Oh my gosh. He just wants to like kill her.
Uh-huh. Well, and in her mind, she's going through the whole situation and she's like, look, I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I mean, she's telling
Frickin'
him.
Werewolves, am I right? It's a long story.
Oh my gosh.
So she says out loud so everyone else can hear. In summary, she did jump off a cliff, but she wasn't trying to kill herself. Bella's all about the extreme sports these days.
Bella's so embarrassed.
Oh my gosh, don't say that in front of these vampires.
Edward.
Uh-huh.
I gave you one instruction. One thing.
Edward said curtly. The casual tone of his voice was gone. This is not a casual
No, this is like a Bella.
Suddenly the alley curves a little bit, slanting downwards, and Jane is nowhere to be seen.
Excuse me?
Where did she go? And then Alice also just plops right down into a hole in the street.
Excuse me.
What is happening?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Bella walks up to it and kind of looks, and she's like, Edward's like, it's fine, Alice will catch you.
There's no clown down there.
Well, there is, but her name is Jane, and she's busy. So Bella crouches down, Edward grabs her by the wrists and dangles her all the way in and then lets her go.
No.
And she ploops into Alice's arms.
She's gonna have a bruise from that.
More bruises. Bella's a whole bruise right now.
I know, poor baby.
And then Edward plops down and the other boys plop into the drain.
It's so gross.
And they resume their line of walking.
I mean, just because you are a vampire and just because you can plop down into a storm drain, does that mean you have to? Does that mean you're just like, it's fine, I'm never gonna like build a staircase or put a ladder, you just jump?
They don't need them.
They don't care?
They don't care.
Oh.
The humans come in a different way, usually.
I guess.
There were no sounds other than my frantic heartbeat and my feet on the wet stones, which, oh, that's so cool. None of these other people are making noises while they're walking.
Nope.
Except for once, when an impatient sigh whispered from behind me. Frickin' humans. Why are we going at the human pace? She obviously knows we're vampires. Just backpack her.
Jeez.
Edward held me tightly. He reached his free hand across his body to hold my face, too. Now and then I felt his face press into my hair.
So awkward.
I realized that this was the only reunion we would get, and I clutched myself closer to him.
She's still convinced they're all gonna die.
She's also still convinced that Edward doesn't really love her.
I know.
For now, it felt like he wanted me. It was probably no more than guilt.
Oh no, Bella.
But I felt his lips press slightly against my forehead, and I didn't care what the motivation was. At least I could be with him again before I died. That was better than a long life.
I can't.
I wished I could ask him exactly what was going to happen now. I desperately wanted to know how we were going to die. But I couldn't speak. The others could hear everything, my every breath, my every heartbeat. So they're keep going, do, all the way underground sewers. Edward is directing Bella where to go. And then suddenly a little light comes out from the dark gray. And they find themselves in a low, arched tunnel. I was shaking, my teeth started to chatter, and then I realized I was cold.
Yes.
My clothes were still wet, and the temperature underneath the city was wintry, as was Edward's skin. I realized this at the same time, or he realized this at the same time I did, and let go of me. No. I didn't care if I froze.
Oh.
Bella. We hurried through the tunnel, or it felt like hurrying to me. My slow progress irritated someone, I guessed Felix, and I heard him heave a sigh now and then.
What a jerk.
At the end of the tunnel was a grate. The iron bars were rusting, but thick as my arm. A small door made of thinner, interlaced bars was standing open. Edward ducked through and hurried on to a larger, brighter stone room. The grill slammed shut with a clang, followed by the snap of a lock. I was too afraid to look behind me. On the other side of the long room was a low, heavy wooden door. It was very thick, as I could tell, because it too stood open. We stepped through the door, and I glanced around me in surprise, relaxing automatically. Beside me, Edward tensed, his jaw clenched tight.
Oh, that's never a good sign.
This is the room where everybody goes to die, and then they haul the bodies out the other way.
Gross.
Guys.
Oh,
that's the vampire
gosh.
Cafeteria.
Okay, but who cares? Because Edward and Bella back together.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Bellward.
Bellward.
What a beautiful time.
Aw.
He's got his arm around her. He's never gonna let go of her again. He knows what happened because Alice told him in her thoughts the whole thing. I do think that Alice kept from him their conversation with Charlie about how hard it was for Bella.
Yes.
Yeah, Alice is doing mental gymnastics to not let Edward know everything that happened.
Yep.
And Edward is like, I know she's keeping something from me. I just, I don't know. He's, think of what's going on in his head. I wish I knew. I wish I had his perspective of this. Just being she's here. Nothing... I thought I was gonna die. I thought she was dead. She's here. I'm touching her. I am holding her. I am it's fine. We just have to figure this thing out, and then we'll be okay again. He's so stressed out.
Yep. Oh no.
Oh no.
Guys, guess who's in the next room?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so and this is when I saw the movie and Mark Mark did not come see it with us, but then the next day I was like, I think you'd really like it because of the vampire fight scene is so awesome.
Yes.
And Edward's back.
And everything is happy from here on out.
Okay, except for everything with Jakey B. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it out loud.
He's just waiting for a little conception.
Oh my gosh, no, I can't. Listen, whatever happens in these next couple books, people have very strong feelings about it. I don't care. I'm just going to read it and talk about it with my true feelings and my true love for Jacob, my love for Renesmee, my love for Edward, my love for Bella. You guys are more than welcome and free to send us any comments or any thoughts you have about any of these guys.
Yep.
But I will just tell you, I'm just going to be as sincere and happy about it as I can be. Because I really am. I love this story. I love these people.
These guys.
Them.
These sweetie babies.
Speaking of emails, we got a pretty cool email/voicemail from, I think it was from Angel again.
Yeah.
She gave such a cool perspective about Harry Clearwater. Did you read that? I loved this. I just want to talk about it for just a second because this was a few chapters ago, but it was when Harry died. So she was thinking about it, and what she said was, she thinks maybe one of the reasons that Harry had a heart attack is because his instinct, his like biological wolfy instinct, was trying to turn him into a wolf, but because he was so old, his body couldn't take it and his body couldn't handle it, and so he had a heart attack. And I was like, that actually tracks, because when he first had his first heart attack, that made Charlie like start calling him every day and checking in, was the same time that all the boys started to really turn into wolves. And like maybe one of the reasons that like Billy didn't have any problems with it is because Billy, his body was already like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And none of the other elders were like, are even close, but like the Clearwaters have a really strong bloodline.
Yep.
Like both of the
sides,
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so maybe there was like a little inkling of like, I gotta be a wolf for Harry, and it was just too much for his aged, infirm body to take, and he died. Which I thought, I was like, that is such a cool theory, and I love it. I love these fan theories. I love getting notes from you guys. I love, I just love hearing your thoughts about these things. I think they're very cool and interesting. So thank you for sending that in. I loved it.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So, okay, thanks for remembering New Moon with us.
Oh, you guys, it's such a joy. We love it, and we love you.
And remember, if some men come up and offer you a free underground tour, maybe say no.
Oh. I thought we were going to take it. No, we didn't. Okay. All right, cool. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Fix that.